We have a country that's in big trouble, but this was a rigged decision right from day one with a conflicted judge who should have never been allowed to try this case, never. And we will fight for our Constitution. This is long from over. Thank you very much.
That was former President Donald Trump moments after a jury found him guilty of all 34 counts of falsifying business records in his hush money criminal trial. It is an unprecedented and historic verdict that makes him the first former president in U.S. history to be convicted of a felony.
And now we want to take a live look at Trump Tower in New York City, where Trump arrived earlier this afternoon. You can see the barricades there and police presence. He announced within the last hour that he will hold a news conference at Trump Tower tomorrow at 9 a.m. El Paso time. ABC 7 will live stream that on KVIA.com and the KVIA News app. Good evening and thank you for joining us for ABC 7 at 6. I'm Stephanie Valle.
And I'm Paul Sikala. ABC's Rena Roy is at the courthouse in Manhattan following all of the developments.
Donald Trump returning to Trump Tower tonight as the first U.S. president to be convicted of felony crimes. Jurors delivering the verdict on 34 counts of falsifying business records in the hush money payment to adult film actress Stormy Daniels. Trump reacting to the verdict.
This was a disgrace. This was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here.
Last year, Trump pleaded not guilty to the felony charges brought by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg. The case tied to that $130,000 payment his former attorney Michael Cohen made to Daniels just before the 2016 presidential election in exchange for her silence about her alleged sexual encounter with Trump. Prosecutors saying when Trump reimbursed Cohen, he purposely disguised it as a legal expense to hide the damaging information from voters. Trump denies that encounter with Daniels and maintains he did nothing wrong. The trial began in April. Prosecutors calling 20 witnesses to the stand, including Cohen and Daniels. The defense calling 2. Trump declining to testify in his own defense. Bragg reacting to the verdict.
While this defendant may be unlike any other in American history, we arrived at this trial and ultimately today at this verdict in the same manner as every other case that comes through the courtroom doors, by following the facts and the law, and doing so without fear or favor.
Crowds gathered outside the Manhattan courthouse erupting when the verdict was announced. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
And following the verdict, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg spoke to reporters. We heard him in that story thanking the jury and saying despite Trump's criticism of him, he did his job.
And while this defendant may be unlike any other in American history, we arrived at this trial and ultimately today at this verdict in the same manner as every other case that comes through the courtroom doors, by following the facts and the law, and doing so without fear or favor.
Bragg did not comment on the sentencing he is set to recommend. Whatever the case, Trump will be sentenced on July 11th.
And the judge could sentence Trump to probation or up to 4 years for each count in state prison with a maximum of 20 years.
And as the news of the former president's conviction of 34 counts sent shockwaves in New York, many El Pasoans were left simply stunned by the verdict.
ABC 7 Sam Harrison-Woods heard from El Paso residents and joins us live from San Jacinto Plaza. Sam, what were people telling you?
Stephanie, Paul, I can tell you we got quite a bit of mixed reactions, especially from folks who had truly no idea that this verdict came down earlier in the afternoon and that Trump was found guilty on those 33 felony counts. Others say that they were very aware and had dozens of messages flooding in from family or friends, all reacting to this breaking news earlier in the afternoon. Again, it was 34 felony counts that the former president of the United States was found guilty on by a jury earlier this afternoon. I asked El Pasoans their opinions on if today's conviction will have any major impact on how the November general election may turn out.
Probably not. I think people are pretty convinced on who they want to vote for. I think it's going to strengthen those convictions, whether you're for him or against him.
No,
And why not?
because he has a lot of supporters. I mean, people follow him a lot.
Followers, through my perspective, I think that they want the power, which they've lost, and now they're trying to get the power back.
As you can see from all three of those responses, none of them none of them expecting much of a difference to be made in this upcoming November election. One of the folks I did talk to also said this is just another major historical event that he has lived through in recent years. Reporting in downtown El Paso, Sam Harris-Simowitz, ABC 7.
All right, Sam. And Texas leaders are also responding to the ruling. Democratic Congresswoman Veronica Escobar said on her X account in part, quote, "This conviction was decided by a jury of Americans whose allegiance to the law came above all else. That is our system of justice, and no one in America should be above the law." Republican U.S. Senator Ted Cruz sent out a statement saying in part, quote, "The entire trial has been a sham, and it is nothing more than political persecution. The only reason they prosecuted Donald Trump is because Democrats are terrified that he will win re-election."
For more coverage and updates on this story, download the KVIA News app. Not only will we give you alerts on the latest breaking news, but you'll also get access to all of our web content. The app is free. Just go ahead and scan that QR code you see on the screen or download it from the App Store or Google Play.